Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. And we welcome the discussion that we'll be having with Mr. Mulvaney for this very, very important position. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome the new members of this committee, Senators Van Hollen and Senator Harris on our side, and Senator Gardner, Senator Kennedy, and Senator Bozeman on your side. And I look forward to working with all of you. Mr. Chairman, you and I may not agree on too much, but I think we can all agree that President Trump ran a very unconventional campaign, and that he told the American people that he would govern as a very unconventional Republican. I think that's fair. We can maybe get unanimous consent on that one. And over again, in fact, the cornerstone, one of the cornerstones of his campaign was that he was not going to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And he wasn't ambiguous about this. He didn't say this in an ambush interview at 3 o'clock in the morning. He said this over and over and over again. And I suspect that many millions of senior citizens in this country, millions of working class people who do not want to see Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid cut, voted for him for that reason. And I'm just going to read a few of the quotes. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, I would enter into the record many of the quotes that President Trump said on the campaign trail. He said on May 7, 2015, quote, "I was the first and only potential GOP candidate to state there will be no cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid." April 18th, Trump said, quote, "Every Republican wants to do a big number on Social Security. They want to do it on Medicare, they want to do it on Medicaid, and we can't do that. And it's not fair to the people that have been paying in for years, and now all of a sudden they want to be cut." August 10th, Trump said, "I will save Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security without cuts. We have to do it. People have been paying in for years, and now many of these candidates want to cut it." Last quote, March 29, 2016, Trump said, "You know, Paul Ryan wants to knock out Social Security, knock it down, way down. He wants to knock Medicare way down. And frankly, well, two things. Number one, you're going to lose the election if you're going to do that. I am not going to cut it. And I'm not going to raise ages, and I'm not going to do all of the things they want to do. But they want to really cut it. And they want to cut it very substantially, the Republicans. And I'm not going to do that." That is quotes from the President of the United States when he was on the campaign trail. Now the election is over. Mr. Trump, President Trump, still sends out a whole lot of tweets. But surprisingly enough, I have not seen that tweet where he says, "I am going to keep my campaign promise and I will not cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid." I am waiting eagerly for that tweet, as are millions of seniors and working people in this country. So the issue that we are discussing today is, A, will the president keep his campaign promises, and will he appoint people to his cabinet who will help him keep those campaign promises? And now we get to Congressman Mulvaney. And to Congressman Mulvaney, I want to thank him for coming into our office. We had, I thought, a very productive, interesting discussion. But his views on Social Security, on Medicare, and Medicaid are exactly opposite of what Trump campaigned on. Let me quickly run through Congressman Mulvaney's record. May 15, 2011, Congressman Mulvaney said on Fox Business News, quote, "We have to end Medicare as we know it," end quote. April 28, 2008, Congressman Mulvaney said, quote, "Medicare as it exists today is finished," end quote. August 1st, 2011, Congressman Mulvaney said, quote, "You have to raise the retirement age, lower a pay cut, change the reimbursement system. You simply cannot leave Social Security the way it is." On May 17, 2011, Congressman Mulvaney said, "I honestly don't think we went far enough with the Ryan budget because it did not cut Social Security and Medicare rapidly enough." And in fact, just last year, Congressman Mulvaney voted against the budget proposed by House Budget Committee Chairman Tom Price and House Speaker Ryan opting instead to vote in favor of an even more extreme budget by the Republican Study Committee. This radical right-wing budget that Congressman Mulvaney supported cut Medicare by $69 billion more than the Price-Ryan budget. It cut Social Security by $184 billion more, and it cut Medicaid and other health programs by $255 billion more than the budget proposed by Chairman Price and Speaker Ryan. Moreover, and this is also interesting, in May of 2009, when Congressman Mulvaney was a member of the South Carolina State Senate, he voted for an amendment declaring Social Security, Medicaid, and the U.S. Department of Education unconstitutional. And let me read the text of that amendment. Quote, whereas many federal mandates, such as those which created the U.S. Department of Education, Medicaid, and the United States Social Security Administration, are directly in violation of the 10th Amendment to the United States Constitution. That amendment in the South Carolina Senate was defeated by a vote of 35-6. Mr. Mulvaney was one of the 6. In my view, the opinions and ideas of Mr. Mulvaney are way out of touch with where the American people want, and more importantly, they are way, way out of touch with what President Trump campaigned on. And while we can all disagree on many issues, I would hope we can agree that if somebody campaigns, as I'm sure many of my Republican colleagues have, you campaign on a set of issues, that you keep your promise. And I suspect Chairman Enzi does that. He tells people how he feels, and then he keeps his word. We disagree, he keeps his word. But it does not make sense to me to have a key advisor to the president having views directly in opposition to what the president campaigned on. Last point. I have come to learn during the confirmation review process, we have come to learn during the nominating process here, that Mr. Mulvaney failed to pay over $15,000 in taxes for a nanny that he employed from 2000 to 2004. And here is what Congressman Mulvaney wrote about this issue in response to a question that I asked him on January 11th. Quote, I have come to learn during the confirmation review process that I failed to pay FICA and federal and state unemployment taxes on a household employee for the years 2000 through 2004. Upon discovery of that shortfall, I paid the federal taxes. The amount in question for federal FICA and unemployment was $15,583.60, exclusive of penalties and interest, which are not yet determined. The state amounts are not yet determined, end of quote. Mr. Chairman, this is a serious issue. As you will recall, 8 years ago, Senator Daschle withdrew his nomination as Secretary of HHS after it was discovered that he failed to pay his fair share of taxes. Mr. Chairman, on this issue, I agree with Minority Leader Schumer, who said, quote, when other previous cabinet nominees failed to pay their fair share in taxes, Senate Republicans forced those nominees to withdraw from consideration. If failure to pay taxes was disqualifying for Democratic nominees, then the same should be true for Republican nominees. End of Schumer quote. In 2015, Mr. Chairman, Congressman Mulvaney voted for a bill in the House that clearly stated, and I quote, any individual who has a seriously delinquent tax debt should be ineligible to be appointed or to continue serving as an employee of the federal government. Mr. Chairman, I look forward to asking Mr. Mulvaney questions, and thank you for the time.